All right, guys, let's check out this beast of a Citizen Echo Drive ProMaster Diver 300 meter water resist watch with a helium escape valve over here at the 2 o'clock. So let's just get right into it. We'll talk about the size because it is a large watch, but I think there's some really good large Seiko divers that many of us like too, and this would directly compete with those, I believe, and maybe even surpass them in many areas. So you're looking at a 48 millimeter case. It kind of like angles up a little bit on the side. You can kind of see it's got a shape to it. It's not just a straight can. 57 lug to lug. These are adapters, okay? Pretty sure these adapters are from SUPPARTS subparts. I'll put a link in the description. That's what I found. I'm pretty sure that's what these are. These are $90 adapters. They make it so you can put 22 millimeter straps on there or bracelets. This watch typically comes with, or in stock form, it comes with an integrated rubber strap. So anyway, so 48 by 57 with these. And then I measure 15.6, not including these raised parts of the bezel. I measured from the bottom to the lower part. So you're going to add a couple millimeter if you want to incorporate those into the thickness. And then 22 millimeter lug width because of the adapters. So that means you can run, this is a bracelet I had laying around. This is a strap cord or Militat 22 tapering. So I think this would work really good on it. Ben, the owner of this watch, Ben sent this in for us to take a look at. He threw this kind of like knockoff engineer type bracelet on there. But I tried sizing it for my 7 1/4, and it's just going to be too long. So if you have like, 7.5 inch wrist, this strap would work no problem. It is a non-tapering strap. I tend to believe that a taper on the bracelet is going to be a better fit. So I would recommend something like this. Or you could do like a NATO or something. Anything that's 22, heck, you could throw a Seiko silicone strap on there and it would work great. I personally think it needs a bracelet of some sort on there to balance it out. The weight on this guy, I just weighed it in its current configuration size for my wrist with this bracelet and the watch head. And I can tell that a lot of the weight is right in the head of the watch is just under 250 grams, so like 248. So if you're not sure what that means, most automatic watches that are dive watches that you have laying around are probably around 140. So this is 100 grams heavier. It's not quite double the weight, but it is definitely heavy. So if you like a large watch that has some weight and presence to it, then this is easily a wise pick for you. I think if you're in that camp, this watch is going to serve you well. So it has a really nice black DLC coating on it, signed crown, oversized crown, excellent knurling. You can see it has a ProMaster symbol, easy to grip, and then the crown action on it is really good. Actually has a decent little pop. Double click, it's a quartz, so you're gonna stop the seconds. There's like no play in the crown either. Then you can adjust your time and your date. Screws down nicely. Mineral crystal, but it is a thicker crystal for the water resist. And then it has a screwed in case back, but it is a Citizen Echo Drive or Eco Drive, however you want to say that. So it is not something you're gonna open up and mess with. You're gonna send it into their service center if it does need work, which is pretty rare that they will. I think they're pretty reliable units at this point. The movement in it, or I guess it's a movement, is a E168. It is obviously solar quartz movement with 3 hands and a date option. You can see the seconds hand hits the marks. Well done, Citizen. Most of the Citizen watches that I have had do hit the marks. You guys know I am a fan of Citizen watches, and I do like the kind of the oddball, bizarre ones. I feel like this one definitely falls into that category. Pretty much, like I said, every Citizen that I've had that has been of a higher caliber, even maybe some lower ones, the seconds hand hits the marks. This one is not a problem because it's digital. So, but obviously I'm a fan of Citizen. So when Ben asked if he could send this over for us to take a look at, I said, absolutely. I instantly was drawn into that oversized handset. The minute and the hour are just massive. And then that minute hand is so vibrant. That's like a neon yellowish green and then a matching seconds hand. This thing is going to be easily legible in all kinds of light. So you have a 60 click bezel. In Citizen bezels, just like a lot of other brands, especially like Seiko, I mean, hate to use them, but you're used to that tactile feel that they put into their watches. Citizen has their own feel yet again. So it feels a little bit loose, but it's totally, you can tell it's just totally usable. And for the most part, I kind of suspect that it's designed to work better under pressure. So when it's under pressure, it'll actually push down a little bit, so it's easier to manipulate. I could be wrong on that. I'm not a diver, but I mean, they do label this as a professional divers, and I have talked to a few divers, and they are typically fans of Citizen dive watches. So I think they're legitimate one way or another. Let me give you a wrist shot, and then the lume on this thing is just bonkers. So there it is on my 7 1/4. You do have that longer lug to lug, but you know, with you doing a bracelet with a straight end link like that, it's just going to fall right off. And then with that taper on this particular one, I could totally wear this. And I kind of enjoy the heavy weight to it. Most of my watches, you guys know I'm like kind of into titanium and stuff like that, so they're really light. So when I strap something like this on, it's the polar opposite of what I've typically been wearing. And I kind of enjoy it. It's nice to have that variety in your watch wearing collection. So I think we pretty much talked about everything on this. Other than price, Amazon, don't even mess with it. It seems like I don't see any Prime options there. So if you bounce on over to eBay and you type in Citizen bn0175, that'll pretty much get you in there. And then if you want to put a -19e after it, that's going to get you. And I'll put all the information in the description down below. But it's going to get you looking at these. It looks like there's a ton of them available. They all seem to be around the $360 mark for a brand new one. So I don't know if these are going to like run out of stock or limited or not limited or discontinued or whatever the situation is with them. But if you're interested in one of these, they're pretty sweet. And I'll put a link to the adapter company that I think these are down in the description as well. The integrated straps on most Citizens that I've tried, I'm not a huge fan of, so I would definitely lean more towards this configuration with adapters and probably a really nice tapering matching bracelet. I think this one works really well with the angles and then the angles up here. I think it just ties in really good. So I'll see if I can find exactly what bracelet this is, and I'll put this in the description as too, because it does not come with the watch. But I wanted to give you a close-up of it. Ben has worn this a bunch, and you can see that coating is holding up really good. And that mineral crystal, don't freak out too much about that because, I mean, look how shielded it is. You'd have to have a very strange hit to get at that crystal. So, I mean, it's totally possible, but highly unlikely. So you can see the dial there is just an emphasis on the indices, legibility, the handset, not so much the date. You can read it, but it's definitely you know, buried in there. It's not as legible as the rest of the watch, but that's not why you're probably buying this watch. So let's check out the lume. It is a beast. I'm not kidding. I mean, even as you see it starts entering in the low light, that just that fluorescent yellow already starts to pop. But as soon as you get into that Citizen lume, it is a very heavy, clean application of lume. It's probably flooding the camera right now, but impressive, to say the least. There, we lined that up too. I don't know if that was bothering anybody. So excellent, excellent watch. Big thanks to Ben for sharing this with us, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next vid.